almost the end of the day.
Yeah. Woo!
Time to
keep
start.
the energy up. Yes.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
Everyone's
Welcome to
coming
the
in.
fourth. I keep wanting to say it's a third, but with opening session, technically the fourth.
Yes.
Fourth session already. Oh my gosh.
We're going through.
Yeah. We're
Busy
just
day.
going. I know. This is crazy. It's so cool. And I'm excited for Kendra. This will be your first one of just this year, but last year you did some camps. You did some camp sessions, but this is the one that kicks it off for 2022 for you.
I know, so coming back in. It's great to see everybody. Hopefully some new faces too. So really looking forward to jumping back in and kind of talking a little bit more about contacts and forms.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot. Like, oh my gosh, Dana just said, are you twins? That is the kindest thing ever because Kendra's beautiful. So thank you.
Oh, well, Stephanie is gorgeous. And we do get that quite a bit with dark hair. We have dark hair. Yes.
It could be from the picture. Cause like, if you look at our pictures, because we have the same shirt.
That's true. We were twinning for picture day. So our moms dressed us the same, sent us out. So yes.
I know. That is so funny. Yeah. When we have like our little chat within internal and Slack in Travefy, people will get confused. They're like, wait, who am I talking to again? Cause our pictures look so similar.
Yes.
Brown hair, same turquoise shirt. It's great.
Oh, hello, everybody. I love seeing where everyone's from. It's so cool to be like interacting from across the world and across the, country. So I love seeing where everybody's coming from.
Yucatan in Mexico. That's awesome.
Oh, yes.
Love that. Indiana, Texas, Virginia, Vermont.
Oh, Germany. We got some all over the place.
Oh, that's so awesome. In an airport. Love that. Travel all the time. Love.
Yes. Way to represent.
Yes. And hopefully your flights are okay. Hopefully they're good.
Jersey, DC. Yeah.
So awesome.
Texas. All the states. It'd be cool to check off and see if we get everybody from 50 states in one session.
That would be so cool. I know. Yes. We should do that. That's an idea. Remember that, Kendra. Next year, we'll try to get everybody. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
I bet we could do it. I'm waiting for in Alaska and Hawaii to pop in here, but I think we're getting most of the mainland ones.
Oh yeah. And Boston, Kendra, Boston. We love Boston.
We have hearts for New England. So
yes, we do. We love it. Oh my gosh. So great. Okay. So, Atlanta, Georgia here. That's awesome. Okay. I want to, before we dive in here, before I hand it over to Kendra here, I just want to do a couple housekeeping things. So if you've been joining us, you have heard these. So again, you might start reciting this in your sleep after a few more of these sessions, but we do just want to remind you that you are getting training camp certified if you hit 5 or more live sessions. So this is one, if you've been all of them, you're already 4 in. So you can get certified for that, and you'll get a really sweet badge, like a virtual badge that you can put on your, email signature, website, wherever you want to put it. Just brag about it. And then a certificate as well. And so give us just about a week or two and we will know. So you won't have to email us that you attended. We'll know. And then we will send you an email here, but just give us about a week or two to get all that information together and then we'll send it to you. So really exciting there.
Yes.
But because this is the week that this worked out so perfect on the topic of certifications. We also have certification for Travefy. Oh yeah. So cool. So really we're going to be launching this. I know. Oh my gosh. This is years in the making.
I know.
Talked about this forever. And yeah, so we are going to be, I know it is so official. Yeah. You all are the first to hear about it. So next week is when we plan to launch it. And we are going to send you your own little personal invitation to start it. And we'll send you an email and let you know all about it and how it works. But what's really cool about it is that it's Travefy certification. So, I mean, who doesn't want to be certified and all of that? And just to show your clients, I know my stuff, super cool. So you'll get the Travefy certification. We also wanted to do an advanced. So we have an advanced level as well. And then right now we actually currently have a Clia certification already available. So if you're a Clia member, you can take the Travefy Clia certification training at certification.travefy.com. And you'll actually be able to get elective credits for Clia membership. I mean, how cool is that? Yeah,
You
so
could
super
just, if
cool.
you get them all three, why
I
not?
know. Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that just will have all three because they're not intense. Like that's the good thing is you could do them. You might need to break it up a little bit, but it's not like you're going, back to you're not getting your
You're not going to college.
yeah,
again.
you're not going to college, not
Gotta
getting your
study.
GED. Yeah, exactly. So it's doable. So that's a great thing. And then the last thing that I want to mention too is for this week, we're going to have so many amazing sessions. Kendra's going to be doing another one here tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or the next day?
It'll be on Thursday. So a little bit later in the week, but I'll be here.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. So it's really great. And so we'll have them going all the way till Thursday. And then once we're done, we are going to grab yourself a drink and then meet us at Travel Trivia Happy Hour. So that'll be cool.
Yes.
And 4 p.m. Yes. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's like the prime time happy hour. And if you are somewhere else, because technically it won't be 5 o'clock for us, but as they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It will be.
Yes. So it'll be really fun and we'll have prizes, Amazon gift cards, like all the good shebang. So super cool. So definitely join us for that. And then also just as a quick reminder as well, that you'll want to make sure to go to travefytrainingcamp.com to register for each session. You'll also be able to watch recordings. So we are going to be recording this. All of these are being recorded. So you can see here that in here, we already have we've had 3 already, and you can go ahead and start watching those recordings now. So they'll be available right away, which is just really nice. So don't worry. If you need to hop off, we got you. It's okay.
Got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing too is our next session, we'll have one more today after this one. It'll be our encore evening session. So it'll be about core 5 tools. So Haley actually did one a couple of sessions ago. So if you missed that one, that was earlier. Join us for this one and it'll be very similar, just new faces. So it'll be really fun. But with all that though, Kendra, I'm going to let you dive right in.
Thank you. So exciting again. It was great to do it last year and just to be jumping back in and for 2022 in our second year is super exciting. So what I'm going to just do here is get ahead of the game and share my screen. So Stephanie, if you won't mind making sure that I have my screen showed up when it comes over.
That is probably a good thing, huh?
Oh, right.
There we go. I see it. Oh, well, so I see your whole screen, not just the main one.
We're going to just try it again then. I'm going to stop sharing and we'll do it one more time. All right.
But it is a beautiful background.
Yes, thank you. This is actually a trip I took to Iceland a few years ago. So I just have memories of that and I will keep that on my background.
I love that. But now I do see, unfortunately, that great background, but I do see it now.
Yes. We'll now see the contact library. So before I go ahead and get ahead of myself though, thank you again, Stephanie, for handing it over to me. And just again, super, super excited to show everyone just a little bit more about contacts and forms. And I know personally from whenever I am on training sessions that I get a lot of questions about, hey, what are some cool features that I might not know about that are in Travefy? And I think of a lot of things that I'm going to be going over today in contacts, in forms, in your event library. So I'm going to be able to go over those now in this session. And then a lot of our users will also come in with questions about CRM functionality. Is that kind of thing involved with Travefy, or is there anything that I can check out that might help with that type of element in my workflow? So again, this is going to be something we'll be able to cover. And coming back to just the main goal of Travefy, which is really to help streamline how you work and with your use of your traditional CRM, or if you want to use Travefy as light CRM, there are going to be a lot of ways of how we can show how that to work with the two. And there are going to be a lot of good things about traditional back office tools, commissions tracking, accounting, and other tools. And having said that, we've found about 50% of the time when we chat with our travel advisors that they may not want or need a full traditional CRM. So with that functionality being built in, and what they really might want or be looking for is more of a simplistic, streamlined tool to help manage their client information. So if you are new to the industry and you're just starting out, or if you're looking for a simple streamlined system that you can get up and running in 10, 15 minutes, then Travefy CRM might be a really good fit for you. So excited again to show you that today, jumping in. And what we'll do, just to kind of give a brief overview, mentioned it already, but we will go ahead, look at contacts, the contact library, how to create a contact, how you might be able to import contacts in, also touching on the event library. So where you're going to be able to start building out forms or maybe create, edit existing forms that you've started with. And then also just the whole sending process and how you're even able to now share forms with people that might not even be on a team, but somebody outside, and you want to share it and have it for their Travefy account as well. So again, we're going to just go ahead, get started, and we're already where we need to be, which is in the contact library here. So if you're wondering, where is my contact library? All you're going to do is look for these nice little tabs right up here at the top of your Travefy navigation bar, and you're going to click on the contacts button, which is where we are right now. So it will look something like my screen here, and this is where you can start adding in new contacts. So before we create a brand new contact though, I also want to show you where you can import contacts. So if you already have some existing CRM function, or you have a list of your contacts or clients in a different area, you can import these into Travefy. So helps save some steps. And what you're going to be able to do is click right here. So under this big new contact button, you're going to click import contacts. So when we click on this, what is going to come up is kind of this template sample of sorts, and show you exactly how your file would need to be formatted in order to import into Travefy. So you'll see here, and I will say this is pretty important. So you'll want to make sure that it's last name, first name, email, phone, address, and then any additional fields that you might add in. And we'll go over that in a couple of moments. But if you also need just a stepping point of getting started, you can also download this nice template file that we have here right in the page. So that way it can download to your device and you can get started with getting that in there. But then once you're ready to upload into Travefy, you're going to just come down here in this nice little field where it kind of like highlights when I hover over it. And you're going to be able to drag in that file, and it even shows you what type of file you can drop in here. And then what that will do is that will load that information into Travefy, and all those contacts will be in your contact library then. So that is, again, importing contacts. And if you have any kind of trouble with that when you're getting started, please feel free to always reach out to our support team. We can help guide through that process. We can also take a look at, the type of file that you're trying to import in, and we might be able to have some insight of, hey, why this isn't working, maybe what's missing. So again, just let us know. We'll be happy to help. But aside from importing, you're going to want to also create a brand new contact. You could start from scratch, which is right here with the new contact button. So I'm going to just click on that. And what will open up here is this large field over to the right-hand side. And you're going to be able to start entering in these different fields. So the first one is, of course, the name. So we're going to just go in line with the training camp theme. I'm going to do Tina Training. Nice little name there. And then once we can go down here, we're going to start looking at the different fields and be able to fill those out as well. And I'll explain kind of what each of these are for and how you can use them. So the first one is a description, and this could be just something, to keep top of mind when you're working with this client. Maybe you have something that, she's mentioned before, just really something, again, you want to make sure you remember whenever you're working with them. So what you'll do is just click here. Then you can go into that field and start typing a description. So maybe this is, a birthday trip and large group. So we'll be able to maybe keep in mind that, okay, she's on a big group trip that we've been creating, and just want to keep track of that and know kind of what part of travel she's in. Next important thing would be details, contact information, phone, email, address. So you'll just come down to here to add, and you'll be able to select whichever form or type of contact that you would want to enter in for this client. So you'll go ahead here. I'm going to just go ahead and put Tina, tinachest.com, and then just save that. We'll go ahead, give her a phone number as well. give her another little sample number. And then when we're done there as well, we can save. And as I'm entering these in, you might have contacts or clients that have multiple points of information or points of contact that they want to have saved to their contact profile here. So this allows you to do that. So if there are multiple phone numbers or multiple emails that you want to have assigned with this contact, you can add in here the same way. So we just have one of each for now, but you can continue on and add more if needed. Next, kind of going down, we're going to also look at custom fields, which is something that you get to create for your contacts or information that you might want to keep track of for all of your different contacts in here. So these could be things such as I have a birth date or food allergy, things that, or maybe even I'm trying to give an example of ones that I've used in the past. So maybe they have preferences for transportation. Maybe they like a certain type of seat on a flight. Those are all things that you can kind of collect in here for them. So we have these that I've already created, but let's say I want to do one like that flight preference. I can come down here into manage custom fields. And you'll see where I can edit these existing ones or remove those out if I don't want them in there anymore. Or I can come down here to add another field in. So let's just do, seat preference. And we'll do flight in parentheses there. And of course, you can customize this to however you think makes sense. And then what I'll do next is come over to this dropdown and I get to select whether it's a short text or it could be a date. So example, again, birth dates, maybe other things that would be related to that. You can select that for this field. And then I'm going to come over here and save that change. And I think the parentheses is what is going to cause me my issue. So I apologize. I'm going to just do seat preference for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that in. And then once I've done saving those or changing them, I'm going to click done editing. So now I can add in that custom field. I'm going to do her birth date here. So we're going to just pick a random date. So if I select your birthday, give a shout out. Pick that, and then let's go not too far ahead, not too far back. There we go. And then I'm going to save that information in there. So now we can keep track of all of those details. The next field down here is going to be labels. So this is a really great way for you to be able to keep track of, organizing your contact library. So maybe, again, they're on a certain type of trip. Maybe they are going to a certain destination. So for some of you who might be familiar with using the event library and those labels in there, this is going to be essentially the same way. So you're going to be able to create these, apply them to different contacts, and then be able to select those labels and be able to pull up the different contact profiles based on what label you've selected. So what I can do here is I can add in that label by just selecting type of label name here. It already has some options auto-filled for me, but let's say this is for a different destination. So let's say Tina is going to Hawaii. I haven't created Hawaii for this label yet. So what I can do is once I'm done typing that in, I can actually come down here and create and add this label to my contact library. So I'm going to click on that. Now it's applied, and I can create multiple labels or apply multiple labels to each contact. So if there are multiple ways of things that you might want to keep track of for them or help organize, you can apply those to the contact there. All right. And then while we're moving over to the right side of the contact profile, you're going to see these different tabs here, which are notes, trips, forms, and documents. So the first one is notes. And I will just say before I kind of jump into all of these different tabs, all of the information here in the contact profile is secure to you. It is not something that the contact or the client is going to have access to. So for example, notes. This is a great way of being able to just keep track of information that they've shared with you. Maybe you are on a team in Travefy and you're working with other people on that team for this trip or with this traveler. So of course you want to make sure that this is all information that will stay within your account and not be shared outward. So that is a great place and to keep this. And again, it won't be visible to the client. But you can keep notes again of just things that you've maybe talked with the client about. Maybe they've referred a preference on something that you just want to remember for future reference. So if that is the case, you can just go ahead, enter that in here. So let's just say that Tina shared that she like a, let's see, ocean view for her hotel room. And again, could be more information, less information, be a quick note, a large paragraph. However, you would want to keep those notes organized in there. And then as you can see, you also can be able to bold in things, italicize, even add hyperlinks in here as well, or insert a link and then bullet. So how you would do notes in your events, you can do right here as well. And then whenever you're done, you can go ahead and then save those changes and keep on adding notes. And as you can see, you can actually see who added the note. So again, coming back to if you're on a team in Travefy, you can see who added in what note. Now, going to the next tab over here, we have trips. So this is where you can see if a contact or a client has been added to a trip. So if Tina had been added to a trip, we would be able to see what trip that was, as well as we could click into that trip from here. So it's another way to help just keep track of what client or what contact is on what trip. Now, forms is where we're going to get into next, and I'll be able to show more of this and where we can view form responses. But this is where you're going to be able to see if your client has been sent a form or if they've responded to a form. So again, we'll be circling back to that in a little bit, but this is where you'll be able to come in here on the Forms tab. And then the last one is Docs, which is where you can keep secured information like a copy of a vaccination card, copy of a passport. These are things that you want to have on file for this traveler. So you're going to be able to drag in that, and you'll see there are several examples of the different types of files that can be saved to this tab in here, and then you can drop that in and then have it saved, stored, and ready to go. So these are our main tabs. And again, since we are right where forms are, this is a great segue to share where you can create your forms, how you can send those off, share with your travelers. So the next place that I'm going to go from here, and actually I will pause myself before we jump out of the contact library, is that you also will see up at the top that you can send a form right from here. So we're going to go into the library, the event library in just a second and show how you can send, create from there, but you also can do it right from this contact profile too. So if you've already created forms and you're working with this traveler and you're ready to send them off a form, you can just come right over here to the send form button. You're going to be able to see maybe some of the most recent forms that you've created. You can also search for the title of the form, or you can create a brand new form from here as well. So a lot of functionality that you can do all while you're in the contact profile. But for now, like I said, I'm going to actually go into more of a deeper dive while we're in the event library itself. So what we'll do is right now we're in the contacts profile. I'm going to jump over to the library here. All right. And now that this is loaded up, this is where you're going to be able to kind of see and create a lot of different events. So this isn't just about forms. This is where you can create them, but the library is also just a great time-saving tool. So if you are not as familiar with the library, or if you've never used it before, the library is where you can go create your own database of unique information. And this, of course, as we were talking about, includes forms. And what we will do here is show just how you can create the form, how you can send that over, credit card authorization form as well, and also how to add e-signatures to the forms. So what I'm going to do is just come down here to new library item, which is right here on the left-hand side. And then what you're going to do is go all the way to the bottom, which is where you're going to see the form option. So I'm going to click on form here. And what forms really does is gives you the ability to collect client details and store their information automatically in Travefy. So you could use forms to collect new client inquiries, collect general client, traveler information, send a post-trip customer survey, or collect credit card information. So what we will do first is create a brand new form, but then I'm also going to show you how you can copy a form or create a form from a template. And these are all options that you'll have. So based, what your work process is, you can choose whatever option in there and go off of that. So again, creating a brand new form, what we're going to do in here is click on that new event button, choose the form option, and then you'll see that you can start adding in different things like the title, labels, and then your first question. So what we'll do is go ahead, give this form a nice title. So I'm going to do new trip inquiry. All right. Let's just keep labels out. We kind of went over that before, but if you have any questions on adding labels to different events in your library, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to show you more about how that works. But then we're going to go down here to create our first question. So what that does is whenever you click on that add a question button, it's going to open up into this field here where you can start adding things in like the title, what type of question or answer you want to receive from the traveler when they're filling out the response. You can also see if it is a required question. So whenever they're filling out the response to the form, you can select if yes, they need to answer this in order to submit the form, or if they don't need to. You will also be able to select the format here. So you can see doesn't have a format, email, phone number, and then also where you can add additional instructions or text to the question that you're asking. So the first question is, what is your full name? And from there, we'll just keep it as a short answer, but I'm going to just click on this drop down here just to show you what other options are for the response. You'll see we have long answer, multiple choice, address, and then credit card authorization. And if we scroll down a little bit further, you're going to see these smart fields, which have name, email, phone number, contact address. So what Smart Fields is that whenever you send this over to a traveler and they're filling out this information, this is going to update their contact profile. So it's a great way for you to firstly collect the information if you haven't had it before, or update information. So if someone, sees what their, phone number is and maybe it's incorrect, they can fill out this form, send over the correct version of that piece of information, and then that will be reflected in their contact profile. So it's a great way to, again, get the information, but also make sure you have the correct information as well. So in this case, we can just leave it as the contact name, and I'm going to use a smart field in this case. And then I'm going to make sure that it is a required question. And then I'm going to come up here and just click save. And whenever you want to delete a question, you can come over to this little red dot on the side, and that's going to remove that question out. So I'm going to go ahead, save that. I'm going to go ahead and do another question as well, which is, what is your email? And we're going to also use another smart field because this is another just point of contact. And you might have noticed that I went a little quick, but if you go to the drop down, you're going to see that since we've already used one of those smart fields, the name, it's not going to let us reuse that. So just good to know in case you're trying to add multiple names in there, but we'll just go ahead here and click contact email, make it a required question again, and then click save. Now I'm going to do another question, which is, what is your passport renewal date? So we can change up the type of question in here. So instead of a smart field, we are now going to do just a short answer so they can add in what that date is. And then same thing, we're going to leave it as yes, a required question. And then we're going to not have it formatted since it doesn't need to be a phone number or an email. And then click save. Now, as you're adding in questions and you're building out your form, you may realize that maybe you don't like the order of how that form is looking or those questions are entered in there. So if you ever need to, you can also rearrange the order of these questions. So let's say maybe for whatever reason, we want the passport renewal to be in front of what's your email. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing over here where you can kind of see there's some little dots on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to go ahead, grab that with my cursor and drag it above that email question. And you'll see that it's going to be a highlighted green, which lets me know that I can drop this into that space there. So I'm going to drag it there so I can play around, rearrange the order as much as I want to when I'm adding in these questions. I am going to go ahead and add one more question in here, just to show another type of answer style, which is, do you accept the service fee agreement? So what I'm going to do here, just type that in. All right. And then what I'm going to do for my answer on this one is multiple choice. So I'm going to click on that drop down, go ahead, click multiple choice. And then what we'll see is I get to add in the options for what I want them to be able to select from. So over here, I'm going to click add option, which I'm going to do yes. Then click no. And then also over here, we're going to see that, yep, we want to make it a required question, or maybe we don't, but then we also want to select the type. So do we want them to select one, or do we want them to select multiple? So depending on the type of question you're asking, you might want them to select, all that apply. But in this case, I do want them to just select yes or no. So I'm going to just keep it as select one. And then I'm going to go ahead, save that question, and then I am all set with my form. So quick, easy, able to add that in or rearrange it. And then what I'm going to do is, once I've created my form, I'm going to want to make sure that it looks all right before I send it off to my traveler. So the next thing that I might want to do is come up here to the very top, and I'm going to take a look at the preview of this form. And what this will do is let me see what the form looks like as my client would be viewing it. And then if I need to, I can always come back in, change things around, make edits to it. So all that I would do is click that button, preview, and then what it's going to do is just show me how I can fill this out. I am not going to complete this because I will actually fill out another one that I had sent or had been sent from someone earlier, but I'm going to just click through just to show what all it previews. And while you're in preview mode, just as a note, and it does show it up here at the top, you're not going to be able to submit this form, just again, because it is in preview mode. So if you are, kind of going through the motions, trying to just test it out, just be aware of that whenever you're completing the information in here. So we'll just see all of the questions, how it's presented, looks all good to go. And what we'll see is at the very end, this is also the review screen that your traveler would see when they're completing their form. And since we had opted for all of these questions to be a required response in order them to submit it, they would see something similar to this, where it shows required response. And then from here, if there was anything that I wanted to change, I'm going to be able to click on the little edit icon beside each question. So maybe I want to go back here. It will take me to that question so that I can complete it. So that's how the preview works. But then maybe when we're done previewing it, looks good to go, we might want to go ahead and send this off. So what we're going to be able to do is come over here. We're going to click on this 3 dotted button right here beside share and preview. Not there, I'm sorry. We're going to click share, not that one. But if you do, on a good note, need to maybe copy this or delete it, this is where you're going to be able to come over to. So if you maybe want to make a similar type of form to this one, you can click copy here. Or if you want to delete the form entirely, maybe it's something you don't need anymore, delete is going to be there for you to select as well. But in this case, we do want to share it. We want to get it over to our traveler. So what we're going to do is click share. And then with this form, you're going to have 2 different ways of sharing that. The first one is to email the form over to your clients, which you'll be able to click on here. And you're going to also see the option to still share the link. So maybe you didn't see it when we had that drop down, but there is also a way to do the link. You can still click on that through here by just either copying it through with your cursor, or you can use the little button over here on the right, which will copy to your clipboard for you. And then also you have the option to type in the email address of your client. So Stephanie, this one's going over to you. I'm going to get Stephanie at Travefy a form. And then once I'm done entering in her email address, and you might have even seen it there, that she is already a contact in my library. So I'm going to do that one more time just to show everybody. But when I started typing in Stephanie, I didn't even have to complete the email. It just comes there so I can select her from that dropdown, add her in, and now I can send it off. I'll click send form. and now it's been shared over with Stephanie. So she'll be getting that in just a couple of seconds. But what I can do from there is, now that we've showed how to share it or send it with your traveler, I'm going to show how you can share it with maybe people that also you have and you want to just give it to so they can use it for their Travefy accounts. So this is actually a brand new feature, literally days old, was released Friday. So we're super, super excited about this. And it's come from so much great feedback that we've heard from you. So if you are out there and you have shared feedback with support team, this is something that we really do take to heart. We love hearing user feedback. It tells us, what we need to improve on, how to, enhance things. So this is something, again, that we heard quite a bit about. And this was being able to share library events with, other users, and really be able to not have to do workaround methods in order to share it. So what you'll be able to do now, I'll show you how the share function works, which is going to work with forms, but it will work with other library events too. So again, we're going to come back over to share. And then over here at the bottom is share library template to web. So you're going to click on this and it's going to publish and share with anyone that you will share the link with. So if we click on this here, you're going to be able to see that now we have this nice little link that will come up. And you'll also see down here that you can select, will you allow it to copy to the library and include in search? So what this really essentially means is that this is going to give whoever you have shared this event with or this form with, that they're going to be able to copy it back to their event library so that they can use it in their library, send it off. And then include in search, really simple, but just allowing them to pull that up in their searches in their library. So even if they've shared it with, or you've shared it with them, they'll be able to search for that event and find it. So we're going to just leave those both selected for now. And then what I'm going to do from there is copy the link. And we're going to go over here. I'm going to just slide some things around here. I'm going to actually come out of our preview, go into a brand new browser. I'm going to paste in this link. And then what this is going to do is pull up that event, or in this case, this form. And what we can see now is what is all included, what kind of questions are on this form, and then what the person is that they can do once they've been shared the form with them. You can just copy to library. You can also contact who sent this to you. So you'll see here that their name, their email address, and then you can type them a quick message as well. But that copy function will then allow them to save this form so that they can, again, use it, share it, send it off to their travelers. So for right now, I'm going to just go back into where we were able to share that. So really cool function, test it out. Let us know what you think. Again, thank you so much for everyone who has shared all of the great feedback on that. We're really excited to see how our Travefy users are going to use this with their accounts, with each other. Really, really exciting. But now that we've completed the form, we've sent it out, we've shared it, what I'm going to do is actually look at what a completed form is. So we kind of went through the preview. We're able to see how someone would be able to enter in the responses. But what I'm going to do is actually pull over an email so that you can see what your traveler receives when they have been sent a form. So
and Kendra, I actually filled out your form, so you can probably find it too.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll just use the one that we just sent over. Yes. Great. And I'm waiting on a notification. So, sometimes Zoom is a hog and doesn't like to let any other things come through. So I'm going to be looking for Stephanie's, but for right now, just on the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and grab something that I had from another colleague here, and he got really creative with the name. So I hope you all get a chuckle with what he entered here. So one second while I'm pulling that up. And then Stephanie, just let me know, please, if this comes up.
Yeah, I see it. I see your Gmail.
Okay, great. So when someone has completed a form, you are going to get a notification via email that they have completed it. So it's going to look like this notification here. And when I said he was pretty creative, we have Babe Ruth was able to complete this form. So they were able to respond. And now I get to view the responses from this client. So I can click view response. And that's going to take me out and actually into the contact profile. So I said we would be back here. We would be able to see those form responses. And this is where we can review them, or one of the places that we can review them. So all I did again was click on that view response button that was right in the email. And then it took me right out to Mr. Babe Ruth's profile. So what it's nice is that because he was able to add this all in, I already had his contact information loaded in as a contact. It went right and assigned himself to, or his form responses assigned to that contact profile. So we'll see in here that I was able to see when it was responded to, when I had sent it. So it's nice for just being able to keep track of when did I send that form? Did they actually respond to it? So yes, you will be able to know the difference. The responded like a highlighted area up here at the top shows you that. And then you'll be able to review those responses in there. You're also going to be able to download a PDF if you would like to for, your records. Sometimes it's great to just keep a copy in case something were to ever happen. So what you can do is select that option. It's going to open up here, and then I can save that, print it, whatever I would need to do with those responses. So this is one area, and that I'm going to click in again. So we'll go back out. So it kind of loaded up for us, but it didn't really show again what tab that came under. But again, that was the forms tab. So if we click back in here, this is what it would look like. And then if I click view responses, it's going to just open that up for me. But aside from the form tab, you can also view the responses to this form in your form itself. So we're going to go back. I know we have quite a bit of tabs here, so I'm going to just clear out some of them. I'm going to come back in, and we're going to go to that client intake form that I had sent over to Babe Ruth earlier. So this is the edit field or the edit form tab right there at the top. And then over here on the right side is where you can see those responses. So if you're just in the form, maybe you're checking on things, maybe making some edits, you can go ahead and click responses. And then what you can do from there is with the response, kind of drop that down and see those same answers and also be able to download the PDF. So two different ways to view it. Sometimes you want to work out of the contact profile. Maybe you're in the form, whichever works best, you're going to be able to view those in here. All right. So now taking a look, and I am just going to see what we wanted to go through here is also the credit card authorization form, which is a really awesome tool, allows you to collect client credit card information securely here through your Travefy account. So it works a little bit different than the form that I just completed, which was just kind of the general questions, general inquiry. So there are a few, like I said, extra steps that you'll want to make sure you do in order to use the credit card authorization form functionality. So the first thing that you're going to do, and we get this question quite a bit, is whenever you're building out a form, or if you're checking out the form feature for the first time, you might go in there and you might not even see the credit card authorization as an option. It might be grayed out, you might not see it. And a lot of people ask, hey, I don't think I have that feature in my account. You do, but you just need to turn on something first to make sure that your account has just an extra boost of security in there. So what that is just two-factor authentication. And there's just a few couple steps that you'll be able to do, have that turned on and be able to start using the form or credit card authorization form feature. So where you're going to be able to set or turn those settings on is over here. You're going to come to your menu dropdown, which is your name and your profile picture. Then you're going to come down to account. And this is going to take you into your account information. And the next place you're going to go is it's probably going to open up to plan and billing, but you're going to want to come down to security. And then from security, you're going to come down here to the two-factor authentication section, which should be kind of almost at the very bottom of that page. Right now, it's probably going to look a little bit different from somebody who had never set this up before because I have it already turned on for my account. But this is where you're going to be able to enable the authentication first. You're going to also be able to set up your phone number so that you're going to be able to get the verification code to your phone number and also verify your email address as well. So once you have gone through that, you're going to be able to then come back out to your form and see the credit card authorization option. So I'm going to come back out here to our forms or library, click on that drop down again, click on forms. And I'm not going to go through and create from scratch, but I will be able to show you how you can create from a template the credit card authorization form, which I didn't get to in the first round when we were creating the form first, but this is where you're going to be able to select from these different templates that we have pre-created and loaded here right in your account, ready to go. So we did kind of it's very similar to this one, but there's a general trip inquiry. There is an insurance waiver form, and there is also the credit card authorization form. So a lot of different things that you can start with. And then again, you can edit, maybe create your own after you've seen this one, or just use these kind of moving forward, all about how you want to use them. But for this example, I'm going to go ahead and click credit card authorization form. And whenever you create a template or use the templates, you're going to see that it, again, kind of loads in all of those different questions for you. You don't have to create them like we did the first time. But at the very bottom is the question that you're going to see, which is for the credit card authorization request, or the question for it, where your client will be able to fill it out. So what we'll do here is click on the little edit button, because this is where it will open up. And it's a few things that I do want to just highlight to make sure that whenever you're creating this and setting it out, you know where these options are. But pretty standard. We saw that we have the required, which we would, yes, want it to be an answered question in order to be responded back or submitted back to us. But then right down here is something that you probably do not want to miss, which is the collect CVV information. And whenever you select that, you want to make sure that, yes, they see that, they're going to be able to submit that information back to me. A lot of the time, some users will send this form over and not select that option. And then we'll sometimes have the question of, hey, where's the CVV information? I need that, in order to process. This is where you're going to be able to enable that. So whenever they're completing the form, they are also requested to enter in that information as well. But then once we've made that change, we're going to select save. And then another big item is the electronic signature. So because credit card authorization is sensitive client information, you want to make sure that this is secure. And the one way we do that is with the electronic signature, which you can select here. And then we have just some preloaded terms and conditions, but you can add in your own, whatever you would like to place in there, just so that whenever this client is submitting the form, they see this, they acknowledge that, yes, I accept these terms and conditions here before submitting their form. With the credit card authorization form, you do need to have the electronic signature in order to send it off. If you don't, it's going to show like an error. You won't be able to submit that. So just important note, you can add electronic signatures to other types of forms. We've seen it used for different types of waivers, insurance waivers, just again, an area to acknowledge that, your traveler understands. So you'll want to just, if you have that selected, be aware that they'll have to submit that back. So we did the credit card authorization form. I do also want to note that that is PCI compliant. Travefy with the credit card authorization form is a PCI compliance, as well as we work with PCI compliant systems, just again, to make sure that your client information is protected and collected through the most secure platform and system that we can offer. Of course, if you have questions on that, please let our team know. We'll be happy to provide more information on that. Last thing too is just wanted to follow up, kind of going over the electronic signature, is that whenever you send that type of form over, we're going to actually go back into this. When we share this with the other forms, we had the ability to send via link or via email. With this, since this is a secure form and you want it sent directly to that specific traveler that you're collecting the details from, you're going to want to make sure that it is emailed over, and it actually won't allow you to copy a link and share it that way. So if I go in here, if you remember, we had that nice link that we could have just copied in to our clipboard. It's not going to even be showing as an option in here. So we will want to make sure that we send it as an email. Stephanie is going to be my go-to example again, and I'm going to select her name down here. And then to finish completing out this, with credit card forms, it also looks just a little bit different, where we need to add just a few extra descriptors in here before sending it off. So we're going to have the description, where it could just be simple, what that credit card authorization is being used for. So we're going to do trip to Hawaii. Stephanie, you're going to Hawaii, so enjoy. Then we're going to go down, nice warm area. And then we're going to go down to the authorization amount. So this is going to be the amount that this card would be authorized to be used for. So we're going to just go with a nice $1,000. We'll give a round number here. And then the last field is also pretty important, which is the authorization deadline. And what this is used for is the time in order for you to collect these details back from your client, but also what you will have the time frame in order to process as well. So just as a reminder, this isn't something that is, just the deadline for them to submit it back to you. So let's say we set the deadline for Stephanie to complete this by tomorrow, March 22nd. If she submits it back to me and by end of the day, I'm ready to go ahead, process the payment for her. If it's already past the deadline, I'm not going to be able to use it. I won't be able to access the full information that was entered. So I won't be able to see the full credit card number, won't be able to see the CVV code. So those are things that you would want to make sure that you give yourself a little bit of time so that you can get the information back from them, but also be able to process on your side as well. So it usually will set itself to about a month out. So we see here, April 20th. If you need it to be a little bit more, of a shorter time, you can go ahead, edit that in here. But that just gives you the ability to tweak it if you need to, but do give yourself enough time, and then you can continue on and send that form off. So we were able to view those responses, view where you can respond to them, be able to see how we can create all those different forms, see how we can also create contacts and import those. So we covered a lot of different areas here, but I know that we get so many questions about forms, contacts, the library, and all of that. So I want to make sure that we do give time to get to some questions. So Stephanie, I know you've been keeping a very nice eye on things coming in. So I'm going to leave my screen up in case some questions need some demos, but please feel free to start sharing those questions over.
Yes, there's so many. And let me just preface by saying too, there's no way we'll have enough time, unfortunately, but if we don't get to answer your burning question, send us an email, professional@travefy.com, or the live app chat too. So let us know in there.
We will get that answer for your question.
Yeah. Yes. And I know there's a lot of detailed nitty-gritty questions too. So definitely let us know.
Yes.
But the first question for you is from Miko is it an extra charge to use forms or contacts?
No, it is not. It is included with the Travefy standard subscription. So if you have a monthly, if you have an annual, it doesn't matter. You get these features in your subscription. So no additional cost. It's in there. It's awesome. Check it out.
Yeah. And unlimited amounts. You can keep as many contacts as you want, as many forms, all of that good stuff. Another one that had a lot of questions on was if you import a list of contacts and some of those contacts in that spreadsheet might already be in your contacts list, what happens? Does it duplicate it, or what goes on?
Great question. So based on the information that is being imported, it could actually go to the contact profile that was already created. So an example of this is, let's say you're importing a contact and the email is the same that you already added into the contact profile. If there's extra information, our system is going to actually load that right into the contact profile. If it conflicts or if the email is different, that's where it's going to create a new contact profile. So it will be a great way that if you already have information in there and started, that if there's new information tied to that, you can get it imported in and you can see that right in your account.
It's awesome. So intuitive.
Yes. Smart system.
Yes, it is. And this one I can answer really quick because I want to make sure I got to it. But Bridget said, I am EU based with very strict rules regarding data protection. So when I add contact details, where are they saved on US servers, or do you use EU servers as well as your European customers?
Important question.
So so really important. So basically Travefy's data servers, so they're based in the US. But having said that, Travefy is GDPR compliant and works with many EU-based companies. So we already work with a ton. So, but if you have more specific questions on that, definitely send us an email at professional@travefy.com. But
want to make sure you guys feel secure with it. So again, I mentioned it earlier, but send those questions over. We'll get responses to it, especially on the compliancy questions that come in for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And this one, going back to contacts, you pretty much already answered this, but Apollo had asked, can I do an import if I have multiple contacts? But
yes, you can. So make it easy on yourself. I know that we've worked with a lot of people who have hundreds of contacts. So you don't want to have to manually create those each individually for sure. So let us help you ease the process.
Yeah. we'll help you work smarter, not harder.
Yes, exactly.
Ralph also asked, what if the client has multiple emails? So how do you handle that?
Yes, if the client has multiple emails, you can add in multiple emails for them. So a lot of people do have professional, personal emails. I'm going to just go into a contact just to show this so we can kind of demonstrate it while we're live. But with our nice Tina test account here, we can add in another email for her. So we'll just do tina@travefy.com, and we can then save that there. So now she has 2 different emails. So we can have all of her contacts saved in there. So you don't have to worry about creating multiple contacts for her. It can all be stored in one place.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot of questions on this also.
Yes.
So, well, Angela asked, so there's many different ways to ask this question, but Angela had asked, can these forms be used as a link on our website? But people also ask, can you use that link? Like, can you share it in social media, or can you share it?
Yeah.
Basically.
Share a form. Yeah. So important thing there. And I kind of covered this towards the end. But the big thing would be, if it's what kind of form are you trying to share? So credit card authorization, you really don't want that out there. You don't want anybody to have access to that and fill that information out. I'm going to go back in here to our library just to show that. But if it is something like a general inquiry form where maybe you want a lot of people to fill it out so that you can reach out to them, that is something that you can share and people can utilize. So the website builder is, I believe, another training session that will be later this week, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stephanie?
Yep.
So stay tuned, but that is something that is an option for you to link out to. But if you aren't even using the Travefy website builder, you can still link this out to social media on your own website. And what I can do is just pull up this form here. I'm going to come over to, again, share is the button you're looking for. And then what we can do is I'm going to click on the share form link with clients. So I'm going to just come here to this link, which I can, again, copy to my clipboard. And then what I can do is go ahead and put that link wherever I want it to be shared to. So if it's a social media post, if it is in an email, if it is in my website, and I want it to be where someone clicks here, it goes out to the form, you can then use that link and share it with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of ways to share.
Awesome.
Yes,
I know.
So
super cool. And actually, so a little sneak peek, tomorrow we'll have, so the website webinar, or the website one is on Wednesday, but so think of it as website Wednesday, you know?
there.
But tomorrow though, we're going to have a sales and marketing tricks, and we may or may not bring that in. So just saying.
Yeah. So stay tuned. They'll be able to show kind of in more depth of how that could possibly
how that
work
works.
or how you could do that.
It's so cool. One other thing too is that a lot of people asked about branding on the forms. And so you don't there's not a way currently to brand. The only branding that you could do is if you had domain masking. But while Kendra was showing everything, I've already sent that request. And I said, lots of people want it.
Yes.
So we've heard it before.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for sharing that. I've already passed it along as feedback.
And remember, when I was talking about how we can share library items, that was something at one point that was shared feedback. So the more and more we hear something, the more kind of oomph that gets behind that request. So might not be a thing right now, but that doesn't mean forever. So thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great feedback.
Yes.
Another question that kind of kept coming up was just asking about forms, like where they find forms. And when you were talking about library sharing, and just to specify how they actually get those.
Sure. Like the form templates or just with each other.
People. So basically, we don't have a library right now of forms or something available, but you would have to know somebody that's sharing that form with you, or join like that Facebook sharing group.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can go get it, but you just have to go get it.
Yes. So if you, especially kind of Stephanie just mentioned that, but if you work with somebody who also has a Travefy account, that's a great way where you can share things back and forth. Again, Stephanie also mentioned there's the Facebook sharing group. So you can be able to kind of connect with different people in there and be able to share information that way. So again, something that, you know, we're really excited to see how the community of Travefy is able to run with that and work with it. But yeah, great ways to just kind of share a bunch of information, not just forms.
Yeah, it'll be super. Oh, it's gonna be so.
Yeah, we're really
it's
excited.
already out there. Actually, it's already a thing. So it's super cool. But and apologies if I already asked this. I think I skipped around a little bit, but I thought this was a really good question. But did I ask about if you can copy a form? Because someone had asked about that.
I think it wasn't asked. No.
Okay,
so
cool.
We can definitely go back to.
Can you, Kendra?
Yes, you can copy a form. So where you can copy a form though is going to be over here. So we're already in a form. Where you're going to click is these 3 little buttons beside the share, preview, and done buttons. So just click on that. And then what you can do is copy. So just really quick and simple, copy here. And that is going to make a little duplicate. So we can even see it gives me a little copy in the title that of course you can remove if you want to. I'm going to click done here, but there's also a way where you can edit. So this is a multi-library edit as well. Also very new feature, lots of exciting stuff. So if I want to go here, but I might be jumping ahead of myself. Nope, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. I have so many features. I'm so excited. But yes, that would be the main area where you can just click here to the button and then click copy. And that's how you can just simply duplicate that. So you can make a copy of yourself if you need to, or if you're working with somebody, and then you can edit that copy to, have any kind of revisions, and the original will stay the same.
Yeah, that's all. Game changer. Again, work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
All the things. Oh man,
easy
this
process.
Has been great. I know. Oh man, there's so much in here. It's amazing to see how much contacts and forms has grown in just the past year alone.
I know.
And it's so awesome. And thank you so much again, Kendra, for walking us through everything.
Oh, for sure. No, it's been great. And I remember I did, I believe this session last year with credit card authorization forms, and literally just to your point, so much new things to it. So it was really cool then. It's really cool now. I'm so excited to see kind of where it goes from here. So lots of amazing stuff, and just where our users are going to offer suggestions to see how we can improve upon it. So
cool. I totally already have so many. And there were multiple comments about like, I didn't know forms were there. I didn't know context existed.
I know.
It is.
And that's, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so pumped. We are pumped. We're really excited. But yeah, like whenever I'm in my training sessions, I definitely say, oh, have you checked out forms? Have you been able to see this area? So it is something that, it's kind of hidden. It's a little hidden gem, but it can really change the way you work and collect details. So
totally
try it out. Yeah,
it is. Oh man, so awesome. And everyone's like, great webinar. And Kendra, someone said, you had, it was, where is it? Oh, wonderful presentation full of nuggets. That's what we
awesome. Well, I'm so glad.
Good.
Gems to have.
I know. Yes. And thank you so much, everyone. Again, just wanted to point out that we're not done yet for the day. Like there's still another one. It is crazy. And so we do have another session, but it's going to be a little bit. It'll be a few more hours in between. So we are going to do next at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So it's a late night one. It's our encore.
Grab a glass of wine, join Steezy and Scott, or Stephanie and Scott.
Yeah. Yep. Call them Steezy, Stephanie, whatever you want.
Whatever.
Oh yeah.
They know you now.
I know. No, it'll be a really good time, but we really just wanted to have something, we understand a lot of people, especially a lot of new people to the industry, maybe still working part-time, hustling, grinding. So we wanted to make one, in the evening to make it a little easier. So maybe we'll see you there. But if we don't see you there this evening, we will see you back tomorrow with the first one will be a Facebook Live about we're bringing the team in. It's just going to be fun. Yay. We're going to you'll get to know the Travefy team. Oh, it's going to be so awesome.
Yes. Get to know just other people on the team too, besides just the ones you might have seen in trainings or demos. So exciting.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. So get ready. If we don't see you tonight, we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you again, Kendra, for the awesome presentation.
Oh, yes. It was my pleasure. It was so great connecting with you guys. And again, please jump into support. If you have those questions, send us over them. It's always great to chat with you all and just see that great feedback. So thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Woo! Thank you. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.